He laughed when he fired me. He wasn't laughing when I took his job. Darren fired me like I was a line item on a spreadsheet. No warning, no real reason, just a smirk and a lazy, "You're not really leadership material." I asked if I did something wrong, and he actually laughed and said, "Be glad I gave you a shot. I didn't see it coming. I worked so hard for the company, but Darren was just cruel. I once stayed late finishing a report he needed for a board meeting, and he spilled coffee on my desk, ruining my report, looked me dead in the eye and said, 'Clean that up, unless you're too fragile for manual labor too.' That was 5 years ago. I went from broke and humiliated to running my own analytics startup, which was eventually acquired by a major tech firm. Then, I saw Darren's company on our acquisition list, struggling, bleeding clients. I made a few quiet calls, we bought it, and I was one of the new owners. But I didn't tell anyone who I was, just yet. I wanted to see it with my own eyes first. So I signed on as a mid-level analyst during the transition, undercover boss style. The office hadn't changed much. Same gray walls, same cheap coffee, same smug energy. And Darren? He hadn't changed at all. He didn't recognize me, not even a flicker. I asked him a question about a report, and he cut me off with a laugh saying, "Don't overthink it. You're not paid to have opinions." A week later, he handed me his lunch order during a meeting and said, "Make yourself useful." He called people dead weight in open air, cut bonuses with a shrug. When someone suggested a mental health day, he said, "Maybe we should hire people who aren't so emotionally fragile." I watched the same cycle I had lived through years ago repeat itself with new victims. One afternoon, he walked past my desk, stopped, and said, "You look familiar. Did you work here before?" I looked up and replied, "Maybe, but you've probably fired too many people to keep track." He laughed, not realizing I wasn't joking, and said, "Yeah, I can't remember all the faces anymore. There were so many times I wanted to say something, to rip off the mask, but I waited. I wanted him to dig himself into a deeper hole." After a few weeks, we held an all-hands meeting. I walked to the front, name badge clearly visible. Darren strolled in late, as usual, leaned against the wall and started scrolling on his phone. I introduced myself and explained that I had been working there for a few weeks to get the lay of the land, then said, "I'm the new owner of this company, effective immediately." Darren's head snapped up, confusion on his face. I continued saying, "I used to work here before, actually." Darren fired me because he said I wasn't leadership material. Murmurs rippled through the room. Darren blinked, still not placing me. "You never remembered my face," I said, "but I never forgot yours." He started to stammer something, but I continued, "You don't need to stay in this meeting any longer since it doesn't apply to you. You won't have the clearance to be at this level soon, so you should leave now." Darren didn't say a word, just stood there, blinking like the idiot he'd always been, realizing the guy he told to fetch coffee now owned the building and was about to fire him. I wasn't angry, I wasn't triumphant, I was just finished. I didn't want revenge, I wanted peace, but sometimes, you get both.